There was a time my kindergarten wanted to host a surprise birthday party. They opened the door and then it was like, surprise! I just started to cry and I got so pissed.
When the birthday song is sung, he wailed very loudly. So we thought it was the noise.
My parents sat me down. They were like, do you know what you've just done? Your friends and us wanted you to be happy. And I was like, really? They wanted me to be happy? Well, that's the most wrong way to make me happy.
Until almost 3, he still doesn't utter a word, not even mom. But when he gets very angry, he can say surprise. That's his first word. And then I know it's something not so right.
What's autism? That's the first thing I asked. My mom just told me, oh, it's some sort of thing that kids have when they're young.
He read the word autism. He asked me, is there something wrong with me? I have nothing wrong, he says.
My parents sent me to the psychiatrist, kept going back for sessions, kept talking about how to curb it.
When strangers try to touch him, he gets very upset. There are a lot of people telling me that I don't know how to teach my child. Why is your child behaving like that? It's very demoralizing. When it comes to P1, I don't want him to go to a special school. What would society think about him? What is his employer going to say if he knows that he's from a special school? He's as good as called sick in the mind. I know that he will struggle, but I thought that the struggle will be better than being labelled the rest of your life. But that's where the nightmare actually happens.
First day of school, I just walk in, people look at me, and those eyes, they just look at me, it's just like, what's he doing here?
They start to talk about how different he is. When he doesn't participate in activities that they do, he's ostracized.
A lot of people bully me, and I could still remember their faces and their names. I always felt that I needed to run somewhere, I needed to hide somewhere.
When there's a lot of people, he freezes because he doesn't know how to behave. And the teacher will think that he's dreaming, he's slow. Even when he lifts up his hands, they will say no.
I would just not talk to people because I felt that no one could correct me if I was withdrawn. I'm just alone, you know.
They will ask him how you spend your weekend, he will draw, then he will explain, and then the doctor will know what his mood that day.
I always used to create a character. He's like all that hate and all that anger just welled into that physical shell of flesh and bone. And I will always draw myself overthrowing this character and his empire of prejudice and discrimination.
This character is him. He's in every of his drawings. I have at least one cartoon of them. I remember those times when he come back from school, he would only play pretend. I'm the teacher, the dream teacher that he would like to have. Then all the soft toys are his classmates, which will listen to him, play with him in the class leader. It shows how much he wants to be recognized.
I try to change to be more acceptable. Even though I try to fit in, it never works. And it's so frustrating because I felt that being myself was wrong.
Whenever he doesn't want to go to school, he's able to make himself go to a feverish situation that he can reach 39 degrees. The one incident that came that really is the end was he actually told the teacher during assembly that he wants to go to the toilet, but the teacher says no. And he pooped in his pants. He spent the whole day wearing that pair of pants, and people laugh at him. And already he's so frightened, plus this, and the teachers didn't even help him. I felt very angry with myself for putting him through such a thing, because if I had been sensitive enough and if I had known more, I wouldn't let this happen. I start to question myself, is it because something I do that I get punished that way? There were moments that I really thought of ending it all, but I have to live on because I owe him, and that is really very pathetic.
Mom, I love you, and when you are not fine, I will take care of you and give you treatment. That was a period when I was going down. During my darkest moment in my life, what kept me staying alive so long is I know that my son needs me. Basically the same. If you look at all his drawings to me, it's always mommy and a baby, mommy and a baby. All his drawing.
So I told myself, I must do something. And I discussed with my husband. We said, no point hiding. We want him to be happy. When he went to Pathlight, he gains confidence and self-esteem.
Felt that, maybe it's okay to have this. Like, it made me feel accepted.
Given the room to be himself, he's able to let the part of him that can excel comes out.
Simple things like ordering food yourself at the canteen. You pass them your money and then you say, okay, thank you. Another one would be, hi, how's your day? If I wasn't given these little phrases and notes to say, I'll just be really frustrated because I don't know how to talk to people. And when I learned these cues, I began to associate the fact that people didn't like being with me because of autism. And I realized that, oh no, so that's what's causing the whole thing. It's like going for LASIK and then like you can suddenly see everything clearer now by like 1 billion times.
Put him on stage, he can speak very confident, no stage fright. But he's a different person because he's showtime. But when he goes on the social gatherings, he cannot pick a conversation.
I like talking to people and socializing, but the anxiety part comes in when you don't know anything about the things that they're talking about, but you want to talk to them.
In the lift, you have people who recognize the uniform and says, what's wrong with him? In the bus, there are a lot of students who will still pass remarks. Hey, these people are from that school, they are sick, A lot of us say yes, we accept them, but we still treat them differently. It will be made easier if society can really be inclusive. Living side by side with them, not even thinking they are different.
What? Oh, I thought you said I got into the frame. Oh, no. Hey, do you remember Street Sharks? This is from the 90s. When I will always go to the Chinatown area to hunt for these things. Yeah. I don't really get self-conscious about my autism nowadays. Until people raise it up, then I'll remember that, oh yeah, I had this. I'm not sure. I don't think I have that file anymore because I deleted it.
Most people, even the lecturers, don't think that he has anything different.
This is when we had to do a digital illustration. Nowadays, everyone's talking about the upsides of it and saying like, hey, you know, autistic kids can be extremely smart. Actually, I'm not extremely smart, I'm okay.
Tomorrow is World Autism Day.
Some with the disorder are able to put their skills to good use.
We want acceptance not because of their talents.
They always say that you're special, and that you deserve to have special treatment given to you.
It's important that he realized that in actual fact, he's not special. The outside world is not going to be a cheer team that go hoo hoo ha ha, you can do it kind of thing. You have to fight for it. Why do we have to put everybody into category?
In my Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
Why can't we accept somebody that think differently or even behave differently?
Maybe that's why I like animals, because they are so open-minded to other species and each other. In fact, I don't think animals would call each other a different species, unlike us who call each other different races. The world is such a big place. It's like 7 billion people, and everyone has their own way of doing things, and there isn't really a reason to why they do it this way, or why they decided to live like this. That way, there's no definition of normal. Yeah, that's what I believe.